flowing very well. And God decided to change the direction, even though it's the same subject, but completely different direction. And what I was impressed by the Lord this morning is to present to you a challenge that we have in front of us. Here in our church today, we have maybe 100, 120 people. And you see that we have many empty seats. And to have empty seats was something that I was projecting for the future of this church. Because you remember when they came here, the church was completely full. And I told you that in our present state, the church would not grow. Remember that? I said that if we did not have more space here, we needed to build more, to enlarge this sanctuary, or we need to plant other church to empty our church. Remember that I told you? Then, trying to imagine, last Sabbath I preached to the Brazilians. We have 64 people inside of that chapel. I received a report about Santa Cloud, okay? I do not know how many people are there, but I believe that was between 15 and 20 people. Then 64 plus 20, 84. Okay, 84. Then if we had the 84 people here today, this sanctuary would be completely packed. Is that? But this is not the plan of God. The plan of God is for us to plant other churches. Then God gave us the opportunity to preach back in St. Cloud, and we have an English congregation there. Even as a matter of fact, we have prayer meetings every Wednesday evening. And I'm very glad that the members that live in St. Cloud are giving support to Brother George that is doing the preaching for us for prayer meeting. And it's being very comfortable. People live close to the church, just go there for prayer meeting. And we have our prayer meeting here. But we have empty seats here. What do we need to do with these empty seats? Huh? We need to bring people. Is that? We need to bring people. We need to now have space to bring more people. But whom are the major focus that God has touched my heart to go after? Okay? Then that's the point that I bring the challenge to you. Okay? Because we have here in our church a adult population. Did you notice that? The average of our church is 54 years old. This is the average of our church. If you have the young people, the children that are members, and the old folks, is 54 years old. Then in 20 years, this church is going to be 74. Can you see that? Then, I know that we have here vibrant people that gave a long life for the church, and they have a long mileage. But friends, I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about new blood that you needed to work. And I'm going to present to you today some figures, some numbers, for you to understand what is the population outside that we need to reach. But first, I would like, it's not working, my friend, the clicker. Okay? But first, I would like to do a little test with you. Okay? Okay. Then, the first question is this. In the past 24 hours, did you watch more than an hour television programming or not? No. Do not need to answer. Okay? You just keep to you the answer. Okay? In the last 24 hours, then from midday yesterday to about midday today, did you watch about 1 hour? Yes or no? Okay. Then, yes. In the past 24 hours, did you read a daily newspaper or not? No. Keep for you. Do not need to answer to me. I will just give it to you. Did you read a newspaper or watch news on television? Could be the same thing. Yes or no? In the past 24 hours, did you play video games or not? Okay? Then, let me say this. The population that I'm talking to you did not watch 1 hour television, did not read a newspaper or watch news on television, and they played video games. Is different for your answer? Okay, let's continue. Thinking about your telephone use, do you have only a landline phone in home, only a cell phone, or both landline and cell phone? Keep it to you. They need to answer. Okay, they need to answer. Okay? In the past 24 hours, about how many text messages, if any, did you send or receive in your cell phone? No text messages on your cell phone in the past 24 hours. 1 to 9, 10 to 49, or 50 or more. Okay, let me say this. The population that I'm going to talk to you today, they have only cell phone, and they send between 10 to 49 text messages every day. Let's continue. How important is being successful in a high-paying career or profession to you personally? Only one of the most important things. Very important, but not the most. Somewhat important, not important. Do you think more people of different races marrying each other is a good thing for society? Bad thing for society? Doesn't matter. Doesn't make much difference for society. Let me tell you this. The population that I'm going to talk today, they say that's somewhat important. And doesn't make much difference for society. Okay, in the past 12 months, have you contacted a government official or not? This contact could be in person, by phone, by letter, by sending an email, or post a message on their website or social network page. Yes, I contacted a government official in the past 12 months. No, did not contact government official in the past 12 months. Have you ever created your own profile on any social networking site such as MySpace, Facebook, or LinkedIn? Or haven't you done this? Yes, I have created a profile. No, I have not created a profile. Then the population that I'm going to talk to you today, they contacted government official in the last 12 months, and they create a profile for Facebook, for social media. How important is living a very religious life to you personally? One of the most important things, very important but not the most, somewhat important, not important. Were your parents married during most of the time you were growing up or not? Married, not married. Include divorce, separate, widow, or not married. What's your answer there? The population that I'm going to talk to you today, they think that's somewhat important here, and the majority of them, the parents are not married or divorced or separate. That is the population. Do you have a tattoo or not? Do you have a piercing in a place other than your lobe or not? In general, would you describe your political views as conservative, moderate, or liberal? Did you answer the question? Let me say this. This population, they have tattoos, they have piercings other than the earlobe, and they consider themselves liberal. Then, the last question. Finally, tell us your age so that you can see how people of different age groups score on the quiz. We don't use your age in computer score. Under 18, 18 to 29, 30 to 45, 46 to 64, and over 65. The population that I'm going to talk to you today is exactly here, 18 to 29. I'm presenting to you this quiz just for you to see if you fit or not into that population. How do you feel yourself? You are out or in? How many are out of this? Okay, how many are in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Look, I did this on the computer because you can do this test in the computer and they give the result to you. we could not do to everybody. But look what happened to me. This is my result. Okay? Then the questioning is, how millennial are you? The quiz. You can go to the internet, put how millennial are you in the quiz, and put the answers there. You're going to get your score. Look, my score. Okay? My score is 74. And the millennials start in 73. Then I have just 1 point that I'm millennial. I do not know what I am millennial. Okay? Because here are the silent population that was born before 45. The baby boomers, 46 to 64. That is my bracket here. Then I have the Gen Xers, 65 to 80, and the millennials after 81. Friends, we are right now living inside of a society that is growing exponentially outside of our age group. And our preferences, our comfort zone is inside of our age group. Did you notice that? This is a part of the Pew Research Center to explore the behaviors, values, and opinions of teens and 20-somethings that make up the millennial generation. But Jesus said to us that you need to go fishing. Is that? Go fish. Go fish. I'm going to make you fishers of men. Okay? Then you know that to go fishing, we needed to have the right kind of bait. Okay? To fish. Okay? Friends, sometimes the things that I like is not a bait to anybody else. And we need to reach this population for Jesus. And Jesus said these words, come follow me. I will make you fishers of men. Pay attention inside of the water here. Who do we have here? Have people. When you go fishing, Jesus said that you need to fish for people. But how are you going to fish if you do not know what kind of interest the people have around us? Then let me talk to you about the millennials. I do not know if you have ever heard this expression, millennials. Millennials are those who were born between 1980 or 1976 to year 2000. They call millennials because are those that were born in the change of the millennium, between the second millennium and the third millennium. Okay? These are the millennials. Then, who are millennials? Born between 1980 and 2000. It's been called Generation Y too, because they have more questions than answers. Okay? And some people, they call them Generation WWW. Okay? WWW. What means that? The generation of the digital age. Okay? Is the largest generation yet. It is the largest generation. Just for you to have 80 million just in the United States of America. 80 million in the United States of America. They are millennials. 2.5 billion worldwide. The most ethnically and racially diverse. Grew up along with technology. Okay, do you know what's this here? Oh, do you know? Oh, have some people that know what's this. If you look to this, what's that? And this here, what's that? It is here. And this here. Is it here? And this. You do not know. Okay, you do not know. Okay, let me say this. We have more things coming in. Okay? More things are coming in. Okay? They're the dominance of social networks. Social networks. Why do they matter? Okay? 50% of the workforce in 2020, in 4 years, are going to be millennials. In 2030, 75% of the workforce will be millennials. Then they aspire to make a difference with their work. They are very confident, have high expectations, and they are achievement-oriented. These are the millennials. Then I would like to introduce to you the millennials. Okay, the millennials. Okay, we have here several people that are millennials. How many of you were born between 1976 or 1980 to 2000? How many? Raise your hand, please. Stand, please. Stand, please. Stand, please. Stand, please. Stand, please. Stand, please. Stand up, please. Okay. Okay, I would like to present to you the millennials. The millennials. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay? Friends, did you notice that the millennials are a minority in our church? When they are the majority outside, then what is this telling us? What is this telling us? That you need to attract them to the church. Yes or not? Yes. Is this a reality? We have today, my friends, a minority of the majority that's outside. What you must know to reach millennials for Jesus. This is my concern. I just went to Campo Calacqua to a mission conference that came pastors for all North America and exactly studying about the situation with the new generation, how to reach the new generation. Because this is a big challenge for all of us, especially for the pastors. Because the majority of the pastors are boomers today. And they do not know much about how to deal with millennials. Let me tell an experience that happened to me. When I came into work in New York as a pastor, I was 29 years old. But even though I was 29 years old, but I was a seasoned minister. Seasoned with 29 years old. Friends, by the grace of God, God gave me the privilege to baptize over 2,000 souls in my first 5 years of ministry. You saw today one result here. And he was, that time, a millennial. Okay? God gave me the privilege to work with television ministry. God gave me the privilege to preach in the television region. It was the only program that was transmitted to all Brazil at that time. Then God gave me the privilege to preach on television in New York. It was the only Portuguese ministry in the whole 3-state area. God gave me the opportunity to go to Canada and continue work with television ministry there. And because I was looking for technology and learning more, I decided to buy a computer. Friends, this was apostasy for the pastors in New York. When the pastors knew that I had a computer, they could not accept that. How could it be that you have a computer? Friends, $4,000 I paid in a computer. Crazy. Was more expensive than my car. And let me tell you this, my computer was a Tandy 1000. 128K. 128K. To function, I need to put a disk there to have the program and to do everything there. Then I need to put another disk to record everything, to keep there and remove everything. Because in the moment that I turn off the computer, all the memory was gone. But that was 21,000. Okay? I remember my printer was a DaCunha, and I was very happy. Okay? DaCunha, my friends, is a printer that printed 2 little dots. Okay? Then, but I was very happy. And I was the only one pastor in New York, Great New York Conference, that had a computer. I could prepare the bulletins for the church, prepare my sermons, prepare the script for my programs on television. I did many, many things with that computer. Then one day I was talking to another pastor about my age, and he bought a computer too. But he was afraid to tell that he had a computer. Because to have a computer in our days was apostasy. Do you understand? Today, my friends, we have this little thing here. Okay, mine is not so little, okay? Okay, because in the moment that you are growing older, you need to start getting larger things. You don't know why? Okay, yeah. Okay, then I have this thing here. I was making a calculation, and the memory that's inside of this thing here is equal 3,810 to 1,000. I could not talk through my computer. I can talk to this computer. I did not have Bible inside of my computer. I have a Bible here. I have 8 versions of the Bible in Portuguese, in Spanish, everything here. To get the books of the Spirit Prophecy, I needed to go to a library. You need to get a big library with all the books to have there and go to index and check everything. I have all the books of Spirit Prophecy inside of this here. If I'd like to read a book, I need to go and to buy a book and to spend the time reading the book. Now I have here about, I don't know how many books I have here that I can listen to the books. Friends, could you imagine the difference from 1980 to 2016? 36 years, my friend. That is a big improvement in technology. Don't you believe that? And the Bible said that this would happen. Is that? But many of us were still in the 19th century mentality. In 19th century mentality. Then what you need to learn? Friends, you need to bring people to Jesus. Yes or not? Yes, we need to bring people to Jesus. Who do we need to bring to Jesus? Everyone. But what is the major slice of the population that is lacking here in our church? Exactly, millennials. Sister White says this in Adventist Review and Sabbath Herald in 1887. All the enterprise in temporal, earthly things prosper in proportion to the wisdom, tact, and concentration of powers exercised in acquiring the desired object. Just so must it be in our Christian enterprises. We must work according to God's word. There must be wise planning. There must be selection of men and gifts appropriated for the various branches of the work. God's word must be our guide as to the conditions that are specified by which we may become laborers together with Christ. Then today, my friends, when I come here with the sermon, I come here with the idea to share with you what I have learned about this subject, about this great challenge that we have in front of us. Then what do the millennials want from church? Then many of us will have the false idea that the millennials did not want anything with the church. Okay? They are so insensitive, they are so egocentric, they are so self-centered, then there's no interest for the church. Friends, this is not what they say. Then I went there, I researched, and I bring to you some ideas. First, my tribe are my friends. Okay? Do you know what they are saying there? My tribe are my friends. This is one of the characteristics of millennials. If you are friend of them, you are part of their tribe. If you are not friend, that means that you are enemy of the tribe. And this would happen to us many times. It's hard for us to approach a young person and be friendly with this young person, especially when we believe that we need to teach them everything that they need to learn. Friends, our young generation, the millennials, has more information than we have. They do not have more experience in life than we have, but they have more information, and they have access to more information than you can imagine. Okay? Look, what means the tribe? Their tribe are symbolized by all these things here. Let me try to translate to you. Okay? I'd like to translate. This is what means the tribe. The tribe, they have these symbols. Okay? Everyone that's connected in Facebook, 84%, okay, belong to the tribe. Google Plus 44%, Twitter 40%, Instagram 36%, Pinterest 33%, Snapchat, okay, Tumblr, WhatsApp, Foursquare. This is the community that they are involved with. Okay, if you're born in the United States, raised in the United States, you believe that you're a member of you're a citizen of the United States. But today, for you to belong to a community, you do not need a passport. You do not need ticket. You do not need anything. You need just to go to your media, social media, and connect there. Facebook right now, okay, this Facebook here is becoming the largest country in the whole world. Okay, surpassed India, have just China in front. And by the end of next year, they're going to have more members in Facebook than the whole population of China. Wow. Just for you to see the connectivity among this generation. The second thing that you need to understand about millennials, they're speaking to us. They said, my identity is what? Unique. Do not try sometimes to understand the millennials. Like me, I have 1% millennial myself. Then how can I say that I understand millennials? I need to reach them, but I do not know. No, I don't. I need to study. I need to learn. I need to be involved in their lives to learn more about them. Then they're saying my identity is unique. Let me present to you what's the identity. Then this graph shows different generations, 5 generations. The first one they call traditionalists that were born 1900 to 1945. This generation went through Great Depression, World War II, was a very disciplined population. They are loyal in the workplace. They moved to the burbs. They were the first one to be the guinea pigs for the vaccination, the shots. Because nobody had shots before them. Okay? The second are the boomers. And if you'd like to see a boomers, ta-da-da-da, I am a boomer, okay? Then the boomers, they went to Vietnam War, moon landing, civil women's rights movement, very experimental, innovators, hardworking. Then I can see here was the first generation that have contact to personal computer. The third, they call the Gen Xers, born between 1965 and 1976. Then experienced the fall of Berlin Wall, the Gulf War, very independent. They became free agents. They were introduced to internet, MTV. They knew about AIDS. No population here before had experience with AIDS. This generation, yes. And this generation of the mobile phone. Now come the millennials, okay? Born between 1977 and 1997. In reality, go to year 2000, but that's okay. Then they experienced the 9/11 attacks, community service, very involved in community service. They like everything to done right away because the internet is very fast, the computer is very fast. They need to have a result immediately. They do not have many patience with slow internet, okay? Very confident, diversified, social, everything is social for them. And Google, Facebook became the major brand among them. And now, my friends, the generation 2020 is now the new generation that's in front of us. Age 15 younger, very optimistic, high expectations. Is the generation of the apps. The apps. I have a grandson that when he was 3 years old, he came into my home and said, "Vovô, may I download a game for me?" Say, "Where do you find this game?" "In an app." Okay, then I said, "Okay, teach Vovô how to do." Then he went there, he went to the computer, look for the app related to the game, download to the computer, and look to me and said, may I put this in my favorites? I have no idea about favorites. 3 years old. He's talking about apps to put in the favorites. Okay? Social games. Then as you can see, they have a very, very defined identity. It's very unique. Friends, never in the face of the earth we have a population like today with their identity. And this way that sometimes we do not understand them. Okay, let's go to the next step. Now they're speaking to us. My brand is credible diversity. Friend, this is the population that they are born in the United States and they love Taco Bell. They love pizza from Italy. They love Chinese food, okay? And sometimes McDonald's. But they would prefer to go to Outback's restaurant, that's from Australia, go to a pizza parlor, and go to a Chinese store, and they are very diversified. Okay? Another thing, they are diversified not only what they eat, but about their friends. There is no barrier for them. Could be black, white, yellow, blue, no problem. They are connected because their tribe are their friends. Very clear? Okay? Their tribe are their friends. And if there's a friend that has a different coloration in the skin, they are not concerned about. If there's a friend that is not educated, that's not a problem at all, because they belong to the tribe. Who are the millennials? 47% are male and 50% female. Did you notice that one of the major focus of the election of this year is the equality about salary for women? That women are supposed to get the same as a man. Why? Why? All of us are in favor of that. Is that? Okay, I'm in favor of that. Why? A woman does the work and I do the work and I need to get more because I am man. No, this is, for me, it's discrimination. Okay? But in reality, they are emphasizing too much because 53% of this population are women. They have more electors than among the male. Then you can see that the whole attention of the politics are going in direction to the women because the population is larger. Look, another thing very interesting, 18.5% they are Hispanics, 14.2 blacks, 4.3 Asian, 3.2 mixed, 59.8 white. Then you can see, okay, but there's a lot of white people. But friends, is the all-time record low. Then the white population is decreasing even among the millennials. Why? Because the white population is not producing kids. Look around, friends. Okay, the white population is afraid of bringing a child to the world. If they bring one or two, they're happy that that's it. Today it's very difficult to find a white family that has 3 or 4 kids. Very difficult. But the Hispanics, oh my friends, the blacks, the Asians, okay, they are bring kids, okay? Then, friends, I'm presenting this not a criticism to any color of skin. I'm just presenting to you that United States of America is becoming colored, yes or not? Yes, this is reality. Our church is becoming colored, is that? Why? Because we are just preaching for the colored people? No, because brown is color, black is color, and yellow is color. The only one that is not color is white. Can you see that? But everything is mixed today. Look to our church here. Our church represents very well the situation of our culture right now. Then, if you go to General Conference, At the first general conference that I was able to attend in 1985, the majority was white there. In 1990, was about half and half. From 1995 to now, we see the growth among the colored population. More Hispanics, more blacks, more Africans. Can you see? Right now, the largest contingent of Seventh-day Adventist church is in Africa right now. Do you know that? Okay? More than half of our church membership is in Africa. Okay? And the largest country in the world in the number of members is India today. Do you know that? Then if you start looking like this, you can see that our message is going to every tribe, every language, every people, every nation. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Okay, another characteristic of this group is this. We must build trust together. Do not try to throw anything through my throat that I do not swallow. I do not swallow. One day I was very amazed. I was preaching in a church, and I said something, and a young lady came to me after the service and said, Pastor, you're right. I said, what am I right? I know that I'm right. What's the problem? I said, no, I checked what you said, you're right. You checked? Yes. She went right to Google to check if I was preaching was right or not. I remember the first Sabbath that I preached here at Kissimmee Church, I preached about the ugliest member of the Seventh-day Adventist ever. I do not know if you remember about this. A member from regional church that's really ugly. Poor man, he was really ugly. But he was an incredible missionary. And he brought to the church the owner of his multi-million-dollar company. He brought to Jesus that ugly man. Then I tried just illustration. Then Aubrey, when they came the end of the road there, Aubrey came to me and said, you are not nice today. I said, why, Aubrey? Because you cannot say that a child of God is ugly. I need to bow to her. I was just to make a point. Can you see? But for her it was offensive to call a person ugly. Because if that man belongs to her tribe, that's the church, he is beautiful. Do you understand the point? Okay? Then when you talk about trust together, then it comes about donations. We have the idea that the millennials do not give anything. Okay? They are just interested in their own interest. Okay? In their own personal preference. But pay attention to this. 93% of millennials, they gave to non-profits in 2010. How many? 93%. 93 millennials among 100 millennials, they gave to some non-profit organization. 50%, 58% said their single largest gift was less than $150. 60% gave to 3 organizations, 3+ organizations. What motivates them to give? Compelling mission or cause, personal connection, leadership, friend or peer endorsement. In other words, they are more concerned in giving to a specific project than to a broader spectrum. They need to see my money is going this direction, and I'm going to give my money in that direction. 65% want to know how the money makes a difference. 50% gave a response to a personal ask. 90% would stop giving. They did not trust the organization. Friends, and this is a problem. We have sometimes in our camp people that are disseminating information that are not true. And the objective of this information is to bring a cloud of distrust in the organization and the church. Friends, this is hurting the millennials. Because this kind of information comes to them. They distrust the church and they do not give. Then, friends, Sister White says this, if any person lift their voice against the bride of the Lamb, that person is going to face the wrath of the Lamb. Then we need to be very careful about this. Continue. They searched even the internet to give online. I remember that when I started talking here in our church about online giving, for many of us was a very strange scenario that was presenting. And right now, friends, about 30% of our contributions to the church is coming through online. Do you know that? I told you, the only check that was cutting every month was to give my tithes and offerings to the church. Since we developed the online giving, I did not give anything more in the church unless $1 for the school, or $10 for the school, or a special offering like today for religious liberty. But the majority of my funds go through online. Then if you'd like to know how to give online, just go to Google and set Kissimmee SDA Church, and you're going to open our webpage. There's a click there, online giving. You click there, register yourself, and you can give this even in credit card, okay? In the ATM card and all the things. It's there, very simple. And it comes every month to Sister Lina, and she puts this in our reporter here. Very simple. People are paying their bills in which way? The online, and the contribution to online, okay? Then the Apostle Paul says these words, Ephesians 6:6-8. Not by the way of eye service as people pleasers, but servant of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart, rendering service to a good will as to Lord and not to man, knowing that whatever good anyone does, this he will receive back from the Lord, whatever he is a slave or free. Then the principle presented for Apostle Paul is that you need to do this to God. And the mind of it, I'm doing for God. Then there's a very interesting setback with this. Because if something they believe that's from the Lord, they give. Could not be a kosher thing is because they do not have so much experience. Okay? In the system of the church. If there's a call for something in Africa or any place, they send their contribution. It's incredible. If they need to save a lion in Africa, this for God, they give. If they need to send to protect a giraffe in Africa, they send a contribution because they believe that they're doing for the Lord. Another characteristic of the millennials, we crave for genuine what? Authenticity. Oh, friends, the millennials, they have an X-ray vision. They go through us, direct to us. And they have the ability to see if we are fake or not. They have a very keen ability. I do not know how is that, but that's reality. They are looking for genuine authenticity. If you're a Christian, be authentic Christian, genuine Christian. Because if you are wish-wash, they're not going to pay attention to what you say to them. 80 million young adults born between 1996 and 1976, 2000, they are millennials. By 2014, last year, 36% of the workforce will be comprised by millennials. By 2020, 46% of all U.S. workers will be millennials. Can you see? Then they are looking for great opportunities. And they are investing their money, their time, their actions, their energy in what they feel that is authentic. Authentic. The other characteristic, our shared experience counts. You do not need to come to a millennial and say, look, I'm going to tell you this and you need to follow this. It's not like this. We need to share the experience. Let me tell you what happened to me giving Bible class here for the young kids, okay? You know that I'm doing a Bible class for our children in the school. And I give this month, October, November, December, and I'm going to start this Monday. Restart this Monday. And I was teaching about Adam and Eve, about the creation of the world, and about the first families, and started the family of Jesus. And I asked the kids to try to draw their family tree. Okay? Then I got a tree for them to put themselves there at the end of the branch. Okay? And coming down. Then I said, who is your parents? Look, this is a class of 16 students. And 6 of the 16 students in our school did not know their parents, their fathers. They didn't know their fathers. And I said, what's the name of your father? I do not know. Did you ever met with them? No. Okay, then they stopped the tree there. I said, okay, put your mother's name here. Okay, then put down the names of your grandparents. And I noticed that some students wrote something, others were looking, thinking, and I said, what's going on? I do not know the name of my grandparents. I know the name of a grandma, but not my grandpa. Okay? Then your great-grandfather, grandmother, they do not know. Friends, from the 16 students, 8 students were able to reach the grandpas. Half of the class did not have any idea about their families. Okay? What kind of connection these kids have with their families? None. What kind of connection they have at the school? They have friends, is that? And they share information. Okay? Because incredible. A child, 8, 9, 10 years old, they have their own phone. Okay? I asked, for example, my 8-year-old granddaughter what she'd like. Said a cell phone. She'd like a cell phone for Christmas. And she has. Then they developed a very close connection with their friends. Then their experience that they developed together counts for the way that they see the whole world. Okay? Is the rapid rise of all generations. I'm sorry, friends. I'm pushing here the wrong button. Okay? Millennials are currently the largest generation in the United States. They have a purchase power of $1.68 trillion per year. Then the companies, they know about their potential power for purchase, and they are ministering to them with commercials, with products, and they try to get their attention. The household of a millennial, okay, is estimated $60,000. And we have 75.7 million. That's now is 80 million among millennials. Then they have a big group to share experience together. Can you see that? Another thing that's very interesting that they say, we are optimistic about our future. Then, friends, when you have a generation that went through the World War, the Vietnam War, the Korean War, then about the atomic bomb and all these things, when you come to preach the gospel, we can bring fear in the message, and they're going to listen. Because they went to fear this experience. But the millennial generation are the generation of the seat belt. Do you remember the old people like me here? Okay, did we ever use seat belt when we were small kids? No. We are in the back of the truck. And the roads are not so good like today. And sometimes if you fall from the truck, and we are blamed because you fall from the truck. Is that? It's your fault. Why you did not held here? Why did not put yourself here? Okay? Then friends, this is the generation that lived inside of a safety zone. Complete safety zone. Then they are very optimistic about their future. Okay? Let's talk about the state of mind of the millennials. Okay? 10,000 millennials turning 21 every day in America. How many? 10,000. Okay? Then we have 79 million millennials and 48 million boomers right now in the United States of America. Is this a very incredible reality that you are not taking a good advantage of that? Okay, and how they define life? They define life by their friendly interactions. Friendly interactions. They like to have friends around them all the time. And the friends could be around them 10,000 miles at distance, physically. But they can be connected by Facebook, by message, okay, by everything. This year, I discovered about WhatsApp. Okay, do you have WhatsApp? Yeah. Okay, I discovered about WhatsApp. It's very interesting app, very interesting. I talked to my brothers in Brazil by message or by voice. Every time that I went, I do not pay one penny. How could you think about this in the past? Now I discover another thing they call emo. Have you heard about emo? Emo, you can talk, seeing the person, and enjoying the company of one another in the phone directly. How much I pay for that? Nothing. Then everything today becomes very expensive in the area of communication. Pay attention here. Right now, 12% of American population is over 65. 33% are boomers. 20% are under 14. 21% are Gen Xers. 14% millennials. Then the next 5 years, pay attention. This group is going to unite this. It's going to be 34. It's going to be the largest population inside of the United States. Another characteristic of the millennials, we look for relevance. What's not relevant, they are not interested at all. Need to be relevant to them. When I say relevant, let me explain to you what means relevance. If you come to them and say, look, you need to come to church today, you are going to work in the parking lot. Let's come, we need to work in the parking lot. We need to work in the parking lot. And they looked to me and said, what is the pastor asking you? To work in the parking lot. Okay. The other friend called, no, you need to go with me to the mall. Okay, what's more relevant? To go to work in the parking lot or to go to my tribe to the mall? What's more relevant for them? To go to the tribe, because tribe is something very important. Okay? Then if we can come to them and say, look, we're going to go to the streets to deliver literature. Okay? Those people that are going to knock the door belong to their tribe? No. But if you come there, so we're going to give this brochure to all your friends. How they are going to act? They would prefer to go knock doors or deliver literature to their friends. Friends, this is what happened to us. We are using methodology that is applicable to our generation, but it's not relevant to their generation. Then we need to learn how to act the same way. Thomas Reeves is a University of Washington historian, says, Christianity in modern America is in large part innocuous, he writes. It tends to be easy, upbeat, convenient, and compatible. It does not require self-sacrifice, discipline, humility, and otherworldly outlook, a zeal for souls, a fear of well as love of God. There is little guilt and no punishment, and the payoff is heaven is virtually certain. Then what kind of relevance this is for our young people? Not relevant at all. Because they are interested in invest themselves in doing something for God. Former Secretary of Education Willie Bennett said, "We have become the kind of society that civilized countries use to send missionaries to." I feel myself greatly blessed for work in the United States of America. Do you know why? Because I feel myself a missionary here. Don't you know that missionaries are sent overseas to preach for another people and to learn the language of another people and to share the love of God to another people? The only thing that was not able to learn is the language of the other people. Okay? Because I still mortify English and violate all the grammatical laws and destroy your English and create words that you never can find in any dictionary. But I'm preaching the love of God. I'm sharing with you my love of God. Do you understand? I'm a missionary. I'd like to tell you that I had the opportunity to be involved with different missionaries that work in Brazil. And it's very incredible, the language that they spoke there. Okay? Because we're not so much concerned about the language, but about the message. And the message is that God loves us. Friends, Revelation 1 verse 3 says, "Blessed is the one who reads the word of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear it and take to heart what is written in it, because the time is near." If something is relevant for the young people is to hear and practice. They need to practice. They cannot just hear. They need to hear. Then the last thing that I'd like to share with you is this. Bring us together and we will come. Friends, you cannot reach just one millennium disassociated of other millenniums. We need to reach the pack. Okay? We need to reach the pack. And to work in evangelism is very interesting. For example, if you're going to do a public evangelism, you send the literature and invite people to come. And those interested will come if they feel that's relevant to them. But with the millennials are different. With the millennials, we needed to work through the tribe. Okay? For example, I could go to a millennial's house and talk to them about many things, invite to the church, and maybe they do not come here. But if some friend came to them and share with them that is a good thing, they would come. Do you understand the point? They need this support because the shared experience counts. The shared experience counts. Then this is the point that I'd like to, next Sabbath, I would like to present to you the proposal for our church to reach our young population. Okay, the millennials. And you're going to see that much will be related to our young people helping us to reach the young people. Sister White says these words. Pay attention. When will the church do her appointed work? She is represented as an angel of light flying through the heaven with everlasting gospel to be proclaimed to the world. This represents the speed and directness with which the church is to prosecute her work. Friends, if Jesus comes in the next 50 years, let's try to imagine that it's going to take 50 years for Jesus to come. The majority of our population are not going to be alive that time. Who is going to be the last generation of this planet? Aren't those that are being born now? And they're going to be the largest population ever, the largest community ever. And if it's becoming difficult for us to reach the millennials, imagine when you start reaching the 2020 and 2040, 2050. Because almost every 20 years we have a different trend in the new generation. Then, friends, we have a big challenge in front of us, yes or not? The Apostle Paul writes to Timothy said, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in his speech, in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity. Sometimes, friends, we look too down for our young people. Sometimes we are too critical to them, too impatient with them. And we need to understand, friend, that this is a reality. Let's talk about Dorothy, my reality. We started together. We have 2 kids. Now have 4 grandchildren. Can you see? Then we can see that from Dorothy and I just 2 came 6. And from these 6, how many are coming? I do not know. But if they go in the same pace, 6 by each 2, they are 4, at least 24 great-grandchildren, is that? And the population is growing. And you need to find ways to reach this population that's growing. Continue the same chapter of 1 Timothy. Focus on reading the scriptures to the church. Encourage the believers and teach them. Do not neglect the spiritual gift you received through the prophecy spoken over you when the elders of the church laid their hands on you. Give your complete attention to these matters. Throw yourself into your tasks so that everyone will see your progress. Next Sabbath, I'm going to finish the sermons for today. This was just introduction, okay? But were you able to learn something today? Were able to understand the challenge that we have in front of us? Friends, when this church was built here in 1980s, 86 that this building was finished, okay? How many families were here, Brother Gray and Shirley? How many? 17. What was the major, the average in age? Yeah. Older. How many? 3/4. Who are those who worked here to raise this building? Was the older generation or the younger generation? Is that? Huh? The older generation gave and with support of the. Okay. But interesting, the older generation were here before. What they did not build this before? Huh? What they did not build before? They were here before. Because they needed to have a new blood, is that? Then when the Grays came and other came with the same age group, then moved the old generation to great things for the Lord, is that? And that's the point, friends. We are right now in a very important phase of the growth of this church, and the history of Kissimmee Church. And we need to focus and reach in the population outside. And you know, the largest population outside is not over 50 years old, is not over 40 years old, okay? Is not even older 30 years old, okay? Is a generation that started the professional careers and getting married and start to develop their families. Is that? Then let's start moving this direction because God has great things to give to his people. May God bless you too.